So, are you done with spinning your wheels and writing out affirmations, journaling, and you might even have multiple vision boards? Are you tired of not seeing the results that you were told you should have when you do all these things? So this is where I want to talk about today in this video for people to understand the bigger picture of what goes on when you manifest, what you're doing when you're using the law of attraction, and what you're not doing that's causing what you desire to not come into your view, your 3D view. So these are things that I think really need to be understood at a more deeper level. So then you don't keep spinning your wheels and you're not seeing the results. And then you might turn around and start having thoughts like it's you or it never works. I can't say how many times I've seen people say the law of attraction doesn't work for me. And the thing is, the law of attraction works for everyone. There's not one person that it does not work with and through. So this is where if you're saying that, you do not have the total understanding of what's really going on when it comes to the energetics of this universe, the universal laws, and of course, the law of attraction being one of them. So I remember what got me on this journey, and I'm not sure about you guys, was the fact that I always wanted to understand how to be able to be in control of my life. I wanted to know that I didn't have to deal with what life was giving me because to me, it wasn't enough. I did not want to deal with the lack, the limitation, the frustration, watching what my parents and my friends' parents did every day and how much they were not able to do the things they love. Because as a younger teenager, I already knew that's not what I was here for. I was not wanting to have a piece of that in my life. But when you're living from the system, you're living from your parents' information, you're living from just the people that are around you, you don't know any different and you don't know how to find another way. And so, one of the things that really got me on this journey of understanding was the movie The Secret. So, a lot of you probably heard of the movie The Secret. And this was very profound for me because I had always known I've been able to see energy and auras, the biofields around people, around things since I was very young. And so, I knew there was things outside of your 3D vision, your five senses, that was there. I just didn't have any access to information. Nothing was teaching you in school on what this was. So when Bob Proctor was one of the ones that really drew me to the movie The Secret, when I started watching Rhonda Byrne's movie and when I actually decided to work with Bob, I wanted to understand because he had the law of attraction down. This man knew everything about the mind, energy, frequencies. He understood about money. He understood about so many concepts that I was not aware of growing up with just an average, everyday lifestyle. So, what I've learned from all of this and what gives you so much freedom when you choose to understand this information is each and every one of you have the opportunity to break free from whatever limiting situations you're in now. Or if you've created something beautiful, you've manifested something amazing in your life, let's say your business, because I talk about business because I love it, and you realize you've hit a certain point and you can't seem to get past it. For you to have gotten to where you've gotten, you were using the laws in the right way and you were aligning yourself accordingly to who you are. And so this is the interesting part. Who we are is what attracts money to us or repels it. Who we are is what creates our reality. So when you understand this, then you got to start to realize that it's not hard work that you need to do on the outside. It's the inner work that seems to be very difficult for people because no one's even heard of the inner side of yourself. No one talks about you working on the thoughts that you have. No one talks to you about storytelling. No one talks to you about self-image, right? And so there's so many moving parts that make up who you are as an energy being that frequency is what brings you everything into your reality. And this is very liberating for people who are searching for this, but it's also not so good for people who like to blame, who do not want to take responsibility and would rather blame things outside of themselves so that they didn't have to go within and look. But if you're watching this video, I know that you're not one of those people. But what I want people to understand is the struggle that you're in has nothing to do with what you're doing. It has to do with how you're thinking. It has to do with your mindset, obviously. It has to do with your belief systems, your perceptions. So this is your inner world. This is your inner self that's connected to the universe. Okay. And this is the inner self that's creating your outer self. It's already manifested your physical body because your physical body is a lower vibrational expression of your higher self or your soul. So you are already a manifested being in a manifested world, and you're trying to change the manifested things that you've created in the manifested world. So I've taught many times in my videos that when you do that, you're creating or trying to create from a place that no creation takes place. And you don't know about your inner world, which is your thought world, which is your belief world, which is your mental mindset. And this is why, if you study the Hermetic principles, you realize that one of the first laws of the Hermetic principles is that the universe is mental. So that should give you a big hint that mentalism, or what you think is mental, is what creates your universe. It's not what you're doing. So if you want to have the law of attraction working for you, what you want to know and understand is who you're being is going to be what you see manifest in your external reality. So, how you know who you're being now, which is beautiful, is your five senses, your circumstances are going to give you that exact answer. So if you question right now who you're being, you just have to look at your relationships with your family and friends, look at your relationship with your spouse if you have one. You look at your relationship with yourself, which is vital, and it's usually overlooked. We overlook how we treat ourselves. And it all begins with self. So if you mistreat yourself, if you judge yourself, if you don't love who you are, you already are setting up that vibrational frequency to work with one of the laws, the law of attraction, to bring you what you believe and what you talk about yourself. So it always starts with you, and it begins with how you perceive yourself, because how you perceive yourself is your identity. It's not a permanent identity, but it's your current identity. So the law of attraction is responding to who you are, so your current identity, and not to what you want. Now, this is where I want you guys to really understand the truth. You can have anything you desire, but you've been asking and trying from the wrong identity. That's the only problem. And the wrong identity is the wrong energy. It's the wrong frequency. You don't match, the door don't open, you don't have it. You don't have the key to open the door. So what you need to understand is when you think from where you are now, the identity you are now, it's giving you the life that you have. So if you're looking to make quantum leaps in your business, if you're looking to have more of anything, more means rising in frequency. More means abundant. Working towards more is abundance frequency. It's another way of holding more light. So you want to understand that your vibrational code is a frequency that the universe is responding to, and who are you being is your code. Now, if you are desiring something different, you need to go into the fourth dimension. Your five senses lock you into one dimension, and that's the physical dimension. Your five senses are not able to see everything. They're only able to see what you are. So that's why opportunities are everywhere. That's why whatever you're looking for is already here. But the reason why you can't see it with your physical eyes or with any of your five senses is because it doesn't resonate with who you are right now. Now, wouldn't you like to have learned that in school? So this is why people struggle. This is why what 1% of the world is financially free, is happy, is healthy, is opulent and abundant, and looks through the lenses of life as being beautiful and always about growing and adding to the world. And then you have 99% of the world looking from a completely different lens because there's a disconnect, there's a misunderstanding. It's like if somebody gave you a recipe to a cake and they took out the most important part of the recipe, the important part of the ingredient, and you're out there trying to create that recipe to get that dessert, and it keeps flopping on you. You're missing the most important piece. And the most fundamental piece of everything that you manifest is yourself. But you're taught to only believe in what you can see. When you only live your life through the lenses of your five senses, you're living already in limitation because your five senses are limited. When you live in the third dimension of the manifested world, there's time, there's space, right? So wherever there's time and space, that means you're limited. Your five senses exist in time and space, so they are limited also. So what does that mean? That means that you need to exit the five senses. You need to go outside the realm of the five senses so that you can tap into what else is available to you, but you don't know they're there unless you start to sense them from your higher senses. You could call it your extrasensory perception. You can call it your sixth sense, but you need to get into the fourth dimension outside of the third and start using those particular senses that come with your higher self because they are unlimited, they are infinite, and they have access to the power that manifests everything in your third dimension. Human beings are not powerful. They're powerful when you're connected with your higher self. So that's why if you're going to do everything by yourself in the physical world, you're shutting yourself off from the most important power that manifests everything. One of the beliefs human beings believe is you think that you're the one who's manifesting. Physically, you're here, but you're not manifesting. Your mind is manifesting everything. Your invisible identity is manifesting everything. Your idea of things, your belief systems, your thoughts are what's manifesting everything, and they do not exist in the third dimension. They're invisible to you in the third dimension. So when you're given this idea that you can only believe in what you can see, that cuts you off from your superpower. It cuts you off from source energy, and it limits you into a place where if you don't use physical force and trying and working and pushing until you finally get what you want, if you ever get there, that is the powerless way to achieve whatever it is you desire. And most human beings never achieve it. This is why only 1% of the world have a life of abundance. So we have to understand that it's not you physically doing something more, but you do have work to do. You have to change who you're being, which is invisible. So you've got to start to pay attention to who you really are. You've got to really go within instead of avoiding you and see, who am I being? Really? Who do I hold grudges? Am I an angry person? Do I judge myself and other people? Do I think from lack and limitation? You got to own that because this is your invisible identity, which is creating your external reality. So to never look at it and live only from the world that's manifest, you can't change anything. One of the things I love that if you've heard of Jim Rohn, he was very much into teaching business and personal development in the 70s and 80s and 90s. You know, he said something very important and profound that he learned. And he said that, you can make a living by working on your job, right? Or working at your job. But you can make an incredible life, an extraordinary life when you work on you, right? How often throughout your life were you ever taught to stop working harder on a job to get farther up the line or to climb the ladder and instead work on yourself? Because yourself is the energetics that's calling in your reality. So the more hard you work, the harder you struggle and push that energy. Think about it. How good do you feel inside when you're struggling, when you're pushing, when you're competing? You have to recognize this. This is what know thyself means. This is what personal growth and development is all about. You are not able to grow when you're in a constrictive state. And what holds humanity in a constrictive state is fear, competition, lack. That's survival mode, right? Fight or flight. And we're always inundated from the external world of the five senses with things to keep us in survival. We all know that. So it's not a matter of working hard on your physical things in the external world. It's literally about working on something you've never been guided towards to work on. It's about working on your invisible side of who you are, which is your higher self. It's your spiritual side. It's your soul. It's your thoughts. It's your feelings. It's your belief systems. It's your perceptions. It's you. You are the one you're looking for. And you are the one who needs to evolve and grow. That's what personal growth is. So to going out and working harder is not personal growth. You're the same person. You're not growing. You're just trying harder. You're pushing. It's very hard for a lot of people to accept the fact that you can create effortless wealth by doing less and achieving way more in a very, very short period of time. because the mind is programmed to believe that everything is done in the external world and everything must be done in a linear fashion, and nothing can go faster than the time that we have. That's why I said a little while ago that when you're in time and space, you're limited. If you want to create infinite wealth, if you want to tap into something that you're not already experiencing in the third dimension, you have to exit the third dimension because what you want is outside of it. And your job is to become a match energetically to it and bring it into your manifestation into the third dimension. That is what your job is to do. So when you say the law of attraction isn't working for me, the law of attraction is working perfectly for you. It just measures your frequency and it gives you exactly equal in experiences that match your frequency. Pretty simple. The harder you work out there, the more unhappy you are, the more fatigued you are, the more you're out of energy, the more that you are getting frustrated, the more you might even be more sad because you're missing out on time with your kids. You're missing all your kids' functions at school because you're working harder. All of this creates a sadness. It creates a frustration, which again locks you into a very low frequency. And abundance is not going to even see you, let alone hear you coming from that frequency. It'll go right past you. So, the answer to shifting your whole entire world, the answer to creating a quantum leap is not working outside of yourself, it's working on yourself. It's identifying the identity that you're currently at and then making different shifts in your thinking that aligns with what you desire. Now, you may have to listen to that again. I want to give you a great example. Your belief systems, your thinking processes, your idea of who you are right now, which is your self image, your identity, believes what you're getting right now is who you are. So, whatever your bank account is reflecting back to you, whatever level of success you have in your business, all the clients that you have, all of that is reflecting who you believe you are. It's your frequency. Now, if you're desiring more and you want to have a quantum leap in your business, you have to identify what the identity of you would be who already had a quantum leap in their business. What would life look like if you already had right now what you desire? What would you act like? Who would you be more like if you already had that result? And if you write down who you are now, and then you write down who you would be with your result now, you will notice a massive difference in who you are. So, what I wanted to really help people understand so that you stop spinning your wheels and going in loops and creating all these common patterns that keep showing up in your life, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in only getting so far in your business and you always get stuck at that one income. Or you only get so many clients and then you never get more. When you get to that mountain, when you get to that top and you can't seem to get past it, right there means you need an identity shift. This is your proof. This is your feedback that's telling you right now this identity doesn't know what to do to go any farther than where he or she is at. You're at your full maxed capacity. You've given everything you've got, but this is as far as you have gotten. Now, this does not mean you are not meant for more. This just means this identity needs to shift. This is why getting around people who have already created those shifts, you getting into hiring coaches that know how to move you from this identity to a new one. By learning from information like what I'm sharing today, at least to have an idea, a new awareness that it's not that you're not capable of having more than what you've got. It's that who you're being is not enough to attract that to you now. You are required to grow personally and spiritually to become a match for what you want because wealth is spiritual. Abundance is a spiritual gift. Abundance is our birthright. It's programmed within our pattern plan in our DNA. So, for us to be able to attract abundance, our job is to be able to be abundance. We have to be it before we can receive it. So, this is where creating a new identity happens in your imagination, which is your fourth dimension. You will not create anything more if you're going to create from the circumstances in your life right now because they're limited. You need to go where there is no limits. This is how you create something from the infinite. This is how you create something that's abundant, where it has no limits, it has no cap, it has no ceiling. This is where you go, and it's outside the five senses. Your five senses keep you stuck like a wall in time. I call them the five walls in time that hold you back from your next level, because they are like walls. If you put all your money on what you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, if you put all of your belief systems on the circumstances that these five senses tell you, you will never change who you are right now, because you won't know there's anything else other than what your five senses keep telling you. But when you understand you've all gone into your imagination, you leave your five senses because you've gone into the infinite, where there are no limits. You've gone into the quantum field. You can say whatever you want. You've tapped into the universal mind, source, where all potential is available for you. All potential is not available for you if you're going to think from your circumstances. So you got to leave those behind. You got to live from in here and not live from the outside in. So when people say you can only believe what you can see, you are trapped. When you start to believe in something you don't see, you are now going to create magic. You are going to create things that you would never dream of before, because there are no limits to what can be yours. But you got to attract it from the different dimension of where it lies. Abundance doesn't lie right now in the third dimension, or you'd see it. What you desire right now is in the fourth dimension. You need to bring it into collapse time and bring it into time by becoming the version of you who already has it. So I'm hoping that this video today is helpful when you are someone who loves the movie The Secret. You're in love with the idea that you are the creator of your life, that you are the one manifesting everything. And if there's something that you do not like, or there's something that you'd love to change, you are never stuck. It's just the understanding and awareness that was missing to show you why you're repeating the same things over and over again, or why you can't seem to move past a certain level in your life. But now that you understand that the identity of who you are has given you exactly what you have, it's capped, it's maxed out. So what that means energetically is, like, picture a ball full of energy, and it's this big. If you want more energy to come into that ball, you've got to expand the ball. So this is what personal growth and development is all about. You are maxed out right now because what you're getting in your life is all you can hold. It's all you're maxed. If you want to hold more, you have to personally grow yourself, expand your capacity to take in more light, more energy, and that is when your identity shifts, and then your reality responds to the new identity. So it's always about energetics. It's always about who you're being, the frequency code of who you are. It's not what you're doing that makes the difference first. It's who you're being that makes up 99% of the manifestation process. The one thing that is our job as a physical being is to take the inspired action when we are inspired to do it through our intuition. And that's how you collapse time and bring the invisible into the visible. Spirit needs both a physical and an invisible connection. Spirit can't bring things into manifestation because spirit is whole in everything. Spirit is invisible in the higher dimensions. It needs you, the physical you, to bring something physical into this dimension. But guess what we have been taught? We have been taught to only believe we're here. We have been separated from source, from our higher self. We are told that we're alone in the universe and that all that we have is what we see with our five senses. So if you believe you're disconnected from the power, from God, from the universe, then why would you go seek and go look for it within your own self? You're seeking for it out there, and it's not out there. So when you understand that the power that flows to and through the universe flows to and through you, and that when you acknowledge it and you understand how to harness it, there is nothing that you cannot have. And I hope that helps everyone today in understanding that manifestation, the universal laws, they're real. We have to have laws just like electricity and gravity. So once you understand how you operate within these laws, then you can start creating consciously what you want instead of unconsciously and creating what you don't want.